I have got to say that I really, really like the look of this black and this blasted Ultim. What's going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. We're taking a look at this Civivi Vision in the blacked out blade with the blasted textured Ultim. Let's talk a little bit what we're looking at, what the specs are, that kind of thing. And then I'll jump into what I think of this knife. So the Vision here has kind of taken this market by storm. Very popular knife. And by this market, I mean kind of this price point, the sub $100 knife price point. Really appeals to those, the slicey boys and the fidget boys. And if you like both of those things, then this is going to be right up your alley. Now, I am not one to consider myself into those kind of things. In fact, in old videos, I've explicitly stated that I don't get the whole fidget knife trend and the whole slicey thing, but I'm starting to come around. I know, because I really, really like this knife. When I ordered it, I instantly had a little bit of regret, and I was like, why did I buy this? Right? Like, it seemed fine, it seemed cool, but it seemed, I felt like it might be one of those knives that I regret picking up because I would just say, man, I could have used that money towards something else. But ever since I got it, I really, really like it. Both the function of it, the action of it, and how it looks. I think it looks really, really cool. So let's do some quick measurements on this guy, just so you know what you're looking at. Blade length is what, about 3.5 inches. Overall length is 8 inches. Nice thin stock. I'm not going to do a measurement. You can find all that online. This features the lock based on the Super Lock from Snex. So Snex created this style lock, and companies like Demco, the Shark Lock, this lock that Civivi uses, both use that design. So I said this in the unboxing. I'll say it again just because people don't know. But this didn't steal the Shark Lock. Both those locks are based off of a free-to-use lock design by Snex. I will say, big up on Civivi for actually posting it, though, because Demco does not do that, right? Demco makes it sound like it's a Shark Lock invented by him, and you could maybe argue that he's made enough changes to it that it's different enough that you could call it his own lock. But either way, they're both based off the same lock. This features a blade that is flat ground, nice and thin, super slicey of Nitro V steel, which I understand to be a very good kind of budget level steel, maybe medium level steel, high in toughness, gets really, really sharp. Doesn't hold that edge as long as maybe some other steels, but it's easy to resharpen, and it is super, super tough and won't break on you and can take a lot of abuse, which I think is actually a really good characteristic for a blade like this that isn't too thick. You kind of need that extra toughness. The lockup on this thing is rock solid, does not wiggle right out of the box. It was hair shaving sharp. The coating's done pretty good. It's I don't know what it is, maybe a PVD. It does have that kind of matte black type on the surface finish, so it's not DLC or anything like that, but it's done pretty well. Everything's coated nicely. I don't really love how big this is. It would be nice if it was smaller and maybe right here, but what can you do? Squared off spine, but it's not sharp. And this lock is so much fun to play with, and this thing is so smooth. It's one of the smoothest knives I own. Thumb stud deployment. I will say that the detent isn't the strongest. For being such a lightweight blade, you can kind of open this thing up reasonably easy, but I don't think it's going to open up or cause any problems. It kind of does the thing similar to like the Axis lock, where the blade will kind of peek out a little, but then suck back in, because it doesn't have like a detent ball where once the ball breaks, it's just completely free. So not too much of a concern, but man, this thing is so much fun to play with. You press down on this lock, and then it frees up that blade. It's running on bearings. You can see the C for the Civivi pivot, so kind of a custom pivot. That's cool. The real star of the show, though, are these Ultim scales. I've really come around on this Ultim business, especially when they're blasted in kind of matte finish like this with texture. I think it looks really, really good with that black kind of peeking through. Really nice. Pocket clip is standard. Thin, good retention, deep carry. Ergonomics, they're fine. It fits in your hand really, really well. No hot spots, anything like that. You've got a choil up here where you can do some finer work. Overall, I think this is an absolute win. In fact, it may be a knife where I pick up another version of this at some point. I like it that much. In fact, dare I say, I like it more than the 80-20 or the 80-20.5. I've owned a couple of those in the past, and I think I actually like this Civivi more than the 80-20.5. All right, let me know. What do you think down below? Would you pick this up? Do you have one of these? Do you like it? I'd like to hear from you.